So let's dive right in. Can you sit up nice and tall on the edge of a prop? So you can sit on the edge of a blanket or a bolster. And the intention here is that it's almost tipping you forward so your spine becomes neutral. And then take your palms to face down onto your thighs and close your eyes. Let's just arrive here. Arrive here and start to anchor to your breath. Anchor to your breath. Without changing it, can you begin to notice how your breath is breathing through your body? Is it fast? Is it slow? What does your breath feel like physically? Does it create big movements in your belly and your chest or little tiny movements? Close your eyes so you can tune in even deeper to your breath. And now start to bring it in and out exclusively through your nose. So you're just breathing in and out through your nose. Can you start to notice the space between your inhale and your exhale? That split second between an inhale and an exhale. How is your breath now? If we were to say that your breath is a reflection of your mental state, how are you right now? Keep your eyes closed. Keep inhaling and exhaling, becoming more and more present with every moment that passes to your breath. The Buddha says the yogi is present as the breath moves in. The yogi is present as the breath moves out. Take your hands together in front of your heart center now. Your thumbs drip right towards your sternum, your heart center. And could you find an intention of presence? And it might be general. I am present. I become more present in my everyday life. But if you're into it, you could make your intention really, really personal. You know, my husband, he's like a chronic scroll Reddit while he's eating. He's never present while he eats. For someone like him, that might be a good intention. I will be present while I'm consuming and tasting food. But what would yours be? Where in your life are you a little distracted? Could you tune in to this intention of presence? With that intention anchored, it's labeled, take a deep breath in, open your mouth wide and exhale. Now you might om with me, you might not. Just once, inhale. Lower your hands down onto your lap. Lean back and just for a moment, take your legs out in front. Plant your feet flat on the floor and then flop your knees from side to side. Flop your knees from side to side. And now bring the soles of your feet together. Bring the soles of your feet together. And the distance between your pelvis and your heels can be quite wide. That's a bit unusual if you practice the hatha class more frequently. In yin, we take a little more space. So we're replicating the shape of a diamond. And then take your hands somewhere towards your thighs. And I'd like you just to start to milk your spine back and forth. It's a little bit sensual. Feels a little bit like a dance. That's okay. I don't know about you, but I certainly haven't danced very much in the last year. So if we can integrate it into our yoga class in some silly ways, we're going to try and do that. And I want you to notice as you're dancing from side to side, the sensations you're feeling right along that inner seam of your pants, along your inner groin. Notice how tight these tissues might feel. But you're also noticing at the same time any impact this might have on your knee joint, on your hip joint. And ultimately, eventually, I'd like you to come into a resting place. So we stop dancing, we come to stillness at about 70% of your body's range of motion. So I could pull my body down until I can maybe touch my head to my toes, but that's very yang. And in yin, the idea is that we go to a place where we feel sensation in the target area. So this is your inner groin. This is the deep back line on either side of your spine. And then we hold there. And over time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, your tissues will start to rehydrate. We'll start to flush energy to these dry, stagnant areas in our body and maybe begin to wake up some prana or chi in our body. If this is too much on your hips or your knees, or if you're dealing with any kind of issues in your lower limbs, take a bolster or folded up blanket, maybe a rolled up yoga mat under your thighs, under your knees. If it's hurting your head or neck and you have a block or some handy hands, you can hold your head here. And then could you close your eyes? Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Start to dissolve. You can visualize one of those seltzer tablets dropping into a clear glass of water and just dissolving into the liquid. Can you replicate this with all the junky thoughts that might be in your mind right now? All the stuff that's ruminating, percolating, wandering in your mind's eye. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. And just like you did in your seat, can you become a witness to your breath? How does it feel to breathe in? How does it feel to breathe out? Is your inhale the same length as your exhale? Is it longer or shorter? If your jaw is clenched, can you relax your jaw and your shoulders? Then relax your pelvic floor and notice how your breath changes now. Inhale deeply through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale. Maybe you release a little deeper now. Stay low so long as you don't feel pain. If at any point in the practice you feel things like pins and needles, sharp sensations, little electrical sensations, or cramps, please come out of the shape. Come to a cross-legged seat or shake things out until those sensations dissipate. And then you might opt to return to the stretch, or you can stay until we meet in another pose. If you feel bored or frustrated, anxious, even just tired, those are natural sensations and emotions that get pulled out when we land in a place of stillness. And I'd ask that you really get to know them. So if you're feeling bored and you're like planning your first day back to work tomorrow after a long holiday, catch yourself doing that. That's okay. You're human. And then go back into that presence by breath awareness. So breath awareness becomes the thing that distracts us from the distractions. One more minute here in stillness. Please take a deep breath in through your nose. This time, could you push the exhale through your mouth? Maybe even add a huh or a sigh, like a great big backpack has been lifted off your shoulders. Do that 2 more times. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, huh. Last time, take a big breath in. Like you finally finished a long day at work. Exhale, huh. Really good. Inhale. Don't force your body up. Could you dance it up again? So your body feels different now. It might be a bit tender, maybe a little more stiff. And you might find your dance looks a little different. No one else can see your dance. Just move in a way that intuitively feels good in your body. The coolest thing about this kind of transition that's student-led is that this might be where the most magic for you happens in your practice. Eventually, you'll work yourself up, move any props out to the side, place your hands back behind you, step your feet mat distance apart, and flop your knees again from side to side. Now, if you have a blanket under your bum, I'd ask that you just take it out to the side, and you might pull it back later, but maybe not. And then come directly back into that same shape, so the soles of your feet are together. But this time we're working into a hip stretch. So I'll ask that you lean over onto your left hip, take your right leg out and behind you. And I'll show you 3 different options for this next pose. Here's option A. We call it deer pose in Yin Yoga. My left shin is parallel with the front of my yoga mat. My right shin lands behind, or my right thigh lands behind my left shin, parallel with the front of my yoga mat. And then the bottom of my right leg is this lever that I can settle anywhere that feels good. This is called deer pose. There's a lot of impact on the right knee here, so you might place a blanket underneath. And from there, you can choose to stay upright, or start to drive your weight forward with the intention of finding some kind of sensation along your outer left hip, and your inner right thigh. Now, the second option you could take here would be full swan pose, and this looks just like pigeon pose. In full swan, your right leg will extend back behind you with your hip and your knee and your ankle all along in one big line. And again, you can stay upright or you might fold forward by any amount. Remember, only 70% of your body's range of motion to start. Some propping here might be a prop or a blanket underneath your left hip. And our third variation, know that none of these are better or worse, is to come down onto your back and take your left ankle over your right thigh. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh or in front of your right shin. 3 different variations, all of which will do the exact same work. So you're stimulating your IT band, TFL, right up into your psoas, which runs up along either side of your tummy. And you're getting into those deeper tissues, that deeper hip work that is trickier to access in most yoga poses. Once you've chosen your variation, the tricky part happens. You have to stay there. So yin can be so juicy and so relaxing, but it can also be really frustrating. So I'd like to accompany this shape with some breath work. And this is called equal ratio breath. Again, I'm just distracting you from all the stuff that's going on in your body, trusting that if you're in pain, you'll shift to a different variation. Could everyone take a deep breath in through your nose? And then open and exhale out through your mouth. Now inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3. Inhale 1, 2, 3. Exhale 1, 2, 3. Equal ratio breath. The length of your inhale simply matches the length of your exhale. Can you continue this style of breathing? You have 2 more minutes here with your music, with your mat, with all those wonderful thoughts and distractions. Always anchor back to this breath. Inhaling for 3, exhaling for 3. Enjoy. Notice where your mind has gone. Notice if your breath is still equal. Without judging whatever's happening, go ahead and take a big breath in through your nose and then enjoy one of those noisy relief sighs out through your mouth. And 2 more breaths like that. In through your nose and a big sigh out through your mouth. Last time, inhale and exhale. If you're down in deer or sleeping swan, press your hands into the floor, lift yourself back up, bend into that front knee, and take your legs out in front. Do whatever feels good here. So I like to extend my legs and then flex and extend my feet. But if there's another movement that you prefer, go ahead and take that movement now. If you're on your back, unwrap your legs, place your feet on the floor, and just rock your knees side to side. So today's practice is all about presence and breath. I've tried to drill that in these first few poses, and I'll keep drilling it in. And then you'll get to bask in some really long held silent shapes before we close our practice. Come back into that butterfly pose with your feet. The soles of your feet are together. Lean your weight over onto your right side now and take your left leg back behind you. Readjust your right shin so it's parallel with the top of your mat. Your left shin starts parallel with the top of your left thigh. It's parallel with the top of your front thigh. And then explore dragon pose. So this might be where you go on this side. You don't have to do the same variation that you did on the opposite side, right? So if you have hip issues or thigh issues on one side and not the other, you might choose a different variation for each side. You could come into sleeping swan by extending your left leg back in one long line. Or maybe you flip onto your spine and take your right ankle this time over your left thigh, finding any kind of grip or bind with your hands behind that left leg. Take a moment to explore the different iterations of this shape and choose a variation that feels safe, sustainable, so you can stay there for a few minutes, and supported, right? So you can add props under your hips, under your knees. And this time, once you've settled into your shape, consider that by starting at this place of about 70% of your body's range of motion, over time, more space might become accessible. So you might have one of those big breaths that just pushes through your body like an unannounced friend who shows up at your door. There's just this big whew, and then suddenly you sink a little further. That's okay. If that happens, that's your body leading the movement, your body leading the stretch instead of your ego or your brain. And that's what we want out of yin, is to get out of that really yang, really masculine, egoic place of trying to do the best, do the most, go the fastest, go the furthest. And instead just surrendering to where we are. And that's the practice of acceptance, right? Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. And now we'll start that equal ratio breath again with the option of taking longer held breaths. So we might go to a 5 count. We'll try it. If it doesn't work, you can stick with a 3 count breath or even a 2 count breath. But they're equal inhale length and equal exhale length. Let's begin. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing like this, anchoring all of your attention onto this function of your breath. I'll let you know when your time here is up. And gently retreat back into an uncontrolled breathing pattern. So just whatever your breath wants to do here. Still present to the breath, but without controlling its rhythm. And then slowly walk your hands in towards your body if you're down in deer or sleeping swan. Lean over towards the right side to bring both legs forward. You might feel like you're about 100 years old right now. And just float your legs from left to right. If you're on your back, it's the same action. You just are lying on your back while rocking your knees side to side. Go ahead, and for just a minute, could you take your legs out straight, whether you're on your back or sitting up, and just wobble your legs. Wobble, 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 wobble. Wobble your feet. Take a big breath in and a sigh. Good. From wherever you are, we'll find our way down into Sphinx pose. So this is a supine shape on your stomach. If you have really bony frontal hip bones, knees, or even toes, you might want to take blankets under those bony bits. And then could you come to lie down on your stomach and place your palms to the earth. So my palms are flat on the floor. My shoulders are directly above my elbows. And I'm pressed up into this aptly named pose, Sphinx pose. Now what's happening here is there's this nice balance of tension and compression. So we're stretching the front line of your body, but squishing the back line of your body. And if that's too much on either side of your torso, maybe you walk your hands further forward. In fact, you're still getting a back bend and some tension, even if you lie right down on your belly. So consider that anywhere from lying on your belly to perching yourself up like you're reading a tabloid, trashy magazine on a beach, anything along that spectrum is perfect. I would love to be reading a magazine on a beach right now. Let's go there. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Your breath can be the waves the background music of your beach vacation. Allow your lips to soften. You might even let your head fall down between your arms. Allow your pelvis to soften. And assuming you've enjoyed a beach vacation at some point in your life, could you go there? Go right back there. See if you can remember the feeling of sun heating up your body or sand burning your toes. Imagine the sound of the waves crashing. The smell of a fish fry, a beach bonfire, whatever it is that comes to your mind's eye. What does it smell like here? And who are you with on this beach? Maybe this is a real memory. Maybe it's just being made up. Grown-ups get to play make-believe too. How do you feel? How are you breathing here? Staying connected to this vision, this sensation, this scent. Of just relaxing on a beach for one more minute here. And when you're ready to pack up your bags and head back to the hotel, you can close your eyes and rest your head down onto your hands, coming flat on your belly. When you get there, just rock your bum side to side, maybe bend your knees and rock your feet side to side. And our journey is going to take us back here into child's pose. So come up through all fours, and if the body is craving more fluidity, more of that dance, go ahead and take a few spinal undulations here. If you're loving the stillness of these yin shapes, you can drift right back into child's pose. Here, your knees are wide, that distance apart. Big toes come towards one another. They might touch, they might not. And then lower down, I'd ask that maybe you use a prop here. We've done a lot of work in these last few shoulder poses that have required some shoulder effort. So maybe just come down right onto your bolster or your pillow, a folded up yoga mat, whatever it is, something that projects right out of your pelvis. And if there's too much pressure on your knee or your ankle joints here, take a blanket, fold it up like a little sushi roll right under your ankles or your knees. Child's pose. We'll work with another form of pranayama in this shape, a really suitable form of breath work that will inspire a little bit of chi movements, a little bit of energy, expansion, and movement. And this is called Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath means victorious breathing. In child's pose, could you take the tongue, your tongue, to the back of your two front teeth? And then with this little constriction in your throat, breathe out through your mouth here. Could you breathe out like you're fogging up a car window? You're about to write like, I love you or clean me, right? You're fogging up a car window. We've gone far from the beach now. Now it's wintertime. Okay, so get that idea of fogging up a car window with your breath, but now close your mouth, close your lips, breathe in and out through your nose, doing that same action. And you'll almost feel this noise of like a like a it's oceanic breathing, victorious breath. Some yoga teachers call it Darth Vader breathing. And then just keep doing that breath here in your child's pose. You're inhaling and exhaling through your nose. Ujjayi breath. Do this until you don't want to do it anymore. And enjoy some silence. You have 2 minutes left in this shape. Find that Ujjayi breath again in the event that it has been swept away with some thoughts or distractions. And come back to your intention. Come back to your intention. This idea of being present. Where in your life can you be more present without judging yourself? What prevents you from being present? I let my son play with my iPhone for the first time on New Year's Eve because he wanted to take pictures. And I saw a really stark reflection of how remarkably powerful that device is in taking us away from being present. I rapidly took it away, never to be given to a 3-year-old again. So maybe it's your phone. That's normal. Maybe there's something else that pulls you away from being present. It could be a feeling. It could be a demand, a stressor. And just put that in your mental piggy bank as something you can maybe check out or work with later before you take a big breath in through your nose. And then press that breath out through your mouth. Walk your hands up towards your body, shifting props out to either side. And take as much time as you need to flip your legs out from underneath of you. That was a lot of pressure on the knee joints. So I like to usually stretch my legs directly out in front and then give them a little massage. Almost like a lymphatic massage, just flushing the skin and the tissue is underneath the skin with my hands a few times. And now we'll start to descend down onto our back for bridge pose, but you'll need your props. This is a supported bridge pose. And so you might just take stock of what you have before coming down. Bring it into a great big pile beside you. And then come to lie down on your back with your feet planted on the earth. When you're steady there, elevate your pelvis and bring as many or as few props underneath your sacrum. So right down at the edge of your spine is your sacral bone, your holy bone. This is the last bone in your body to decompose. Try to stack your little bone right on top of your props. So you begin to feel tension now through the front line. And for some bodies, that will happen here with your knees bent and the propping underneath your sacrum. For other bodies, you might observe a little more of that front body stretch by extending your legs and wiggling that fleshy, cushy, Kardashian-y part of your bum onto your props. It doesn't matter which variation you take. I'd like you to choose one that creates that same energy we had in Sphinx pose, compression in your lower back and tension in your front body, and it doesn't have to be a lot. And then choose a place to relax your hands on your tummy, maybe alongside your body. Draw your chin into your chest so the back of your neck is nice and long. And close your eyes. While we're in this pose, the invitation is not to control your breath, but instead just to watch it. And maybe you can only catch through the periphery of your line of vision the gentle, subtle rise and fall of your t-shirt. Maybe you can see your whole stomach lift and then soften back down to the floor. But could you just watch how your breath manifests itself in the movements that your belly makes? Is it fast or slow? Is it full or shallow? Does your breath feel heavy or light? 2 minutes just to marinate in everything that's happening here. Enjoy. Notice where you're carrying tension and soften there. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Blow that breath out through your mouth like a dragon blowing fire. Inhale. Exhale. Take one more breath in and out. Bend your knees if you've chosen to practice with your legs straight. Imprint the soles of your feet into the floor. Lift your hips high enough that you can pull your props out from beneath you and then drip your spine onto the earth. And at this point, just rock your legs from left to right. Your feet can be hip distance or quite wide here. And if you're one of the lucky ones, you might get that sweet little that cracking sensation or sound through your spine. At some point, could you allow both knees to just stop over on the right? And this might require you to pull your hips out to the left. Let your knees stack over towards the right. Either open your arms wide or create these cactus, goalpost shaped arms. And readjust, fidget as much as you need to. Take a great big yawn. Take a great big yawn. And as you push out that yawn and an exhale follows, you might opt to turn your gaze over towards the left. But if that hurts your neck at all, keep your gaze through center. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. Let's try a 1-2 ratio breath. Remain in your twisted shape. Inhale through your nose for a count of 1, 2. Exhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, drift your knees back up through center. Shimmy your hips to the right and let your knees fall down to the left. Stack them or support them with props. Set up your arms in whichever variant feels good. Find a place for your gaze to rest. Close your eyes and just let your breath breathe you like those ocean waves. Close your eyes. Take one more big breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Slowly navigate your knees through center. My friends, take the next minute to do anything that feels good. That might be dropping right into Shavasana, final corpse pose, but maybe it feels right to hug your knees into your chest or catch a happy baby pose along the way to Shavasana. Whatever your body, your intuition is asking you to do, take a minute to do that now. Eventually surrender all of your limbs, your bones, your muscles, your flesh, all of you down to the floor. Turn your palms to face up and close your eyes. 3 minutes of silence and stillness here in Shavasana. Feel free to drape a blanket over your body if you're chilly. Enjoy. We'll close with a little reading just for now. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weights you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from your truth. Just for now, be boundless, be free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and your feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks so different and so precious and so vibrant. Just for now. Please take a long, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide, exhale out all your air. Feel those tingles as you move your fingers and then move your toes. Feel the expansion of chi from all that pranayama as you inhale and stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, with a big yawn to relax. And now squish your knees into your chest and roll over onto the right side of your body. Roll over onto the right side of your body. Slowly, slowly, could you push yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat? When you find that comfortable seat, take your hands and briskly rush them against one another, like you're starting a backyard fire with friends. Once your hands start to feel a little warm, you can feel the heat brewing between them. Take your palms right over your eyes. Big breath in through your nose. And exhale. One final sigh. Connect your palms back at heart center. Your thumbs are against your chest. Embrace the ritual. Come back to the intention of presence and set some homework up for yourself this week. I will be more present. I will be more present when I ... You fill in the blanks. One Om to close. Inhale. The light in me sees and reflects the light in you. Namaste.